Okay, KR4MT here again. We have an ICOM IC-761 that is dead. It doesn't do anything when you press the power button. The guy I got it from said that he thought the switch was bad, but it's unusual for the switch to go bad after he said he replaced it a couple months ago and it went bad again. I don't think so. So I'm going to check it out, and we'll be back here in just a little bit. All right, let me just keep going. All right, with the cover removed, here's our power supply. I've tested it, and this power supply is bad. Our switching and stuff is good, but this power supply is bad.
What's the other side?
Take it out. Okay, this is the bad power supply. It's a switching power supply, so I shouldn't have any problem replacing it with another switching power supply. We're going to experiment with this one though. Rather than rebuild this thing that's 30, 40 years old, I'm going to replace it with a modern switching power supply.
That looks like a human being.
What looks like a human being?
Inside, just the
Oh,
power
inside.
supply.
Okay, here is our new power supply. 20 bucks, actually less than $20. It's a 30 amp switching power supply. Got it from Amazon for actually $17.99 plus tax. And this will fit nicely inside of here where the original power supply was. It does have a fan, so hopefully it will stay cool since the other one didn't have a fan. Plus we have a fan blowing through here that's going to circulate air over it as well. So anyway, I did check the radio. With 12 volts into our power line, the radio works perfectly. This is our power wires here. I just need to wire everything up to this. Our power comes through these. It was into the power supply and then switched. This is our neutral wire. This is our hot wire, which goes through the switching back here through a relay. So I'm going to wire this up, and we're going to see what this does. Okay, let's see here. Let me pop the cover off. Raises up. All right, let me get a screwdriver out of here. All right, this is our, we got 3 positive lines, 3 negative lines, and then this is our ground, our, let me see here, our neutral and our line. So, since we're shaking so bad, the first one here will be our line, which is the switched one, which will be orange. Orange is our 120 volts coming in. So we will hook our 120 volts here. Sorry about my shaking. I'm terrible with this because I've got a medical condition that causes me to shake really bad. This is our neutral. We want to hook our neutral up to where it says neutral here. Now, of course, we're going to want to do a chassis ground from here, so I'll have to make one of those up. This is 12 gauge. Let me see if I've got some green 14 gauge wire. All right, we got our green wire. This is 14 gauge. It should be plenty enough to run a chassis ground with. So we'll connect it to chassis ground right here. I want to use green so that we know that it is ground. Chassis ground's usually green. All right. Now we got to find a good place to connect this to. So what we'll do, we'll leave us enough here for safety, and we'll put a terminal on. I'd say 12 inches, 10 to 12 inches ought to be plenty enough. Get a terminal on here. All right. Okay, there is our terminal for chassis ground. Now, we're just going to test this without actually hooking up the power, because if something's wrong with this brand new power supply, we certainly don't want to fry the radio if it puts out 120 volts or something. I need to find somewhere to hook chassis ground to. Let's just get a screw for this right now, and I'll temporarily ground it right here on the chassis for our neutral. That way we don't get electrocuted if something's wrong here. Okay, so there's our neutral connected. Now, we're going to try this thing out. I've got
Is it not going to explode?
No, it won't. Well, it shouldn't. It shouldn't explode. I've got my voltmeter ready. We'll put it on DC volts. I'll turn on the light so you can see. There we go. I'm going to check it with the O-scope also to check for any ripple voltage on the or noise on the DC line out. So the radio is connected. I'm going to plug it in. I'm going to close this plastic tab just in case. Make sure the switch is off. The switch is off. Okay, I'm on DC volts, so I should have a positive voltage here and a negative voltage here. So we'll press the switch and see what we get. And there we have 12.2 volts. I need to see if there's an adjustment so I can turn this up to 18 volts, but that's plenty good enough, looks like. Let's see if there's any ripple on it. We'll take our scope probe. We'll go to channel 2. Turn channel 1 off. There we go. Let's go to our ground here and to our AC line here. And let's set auto set and see what we got here. Well, I'm seeing AC there, but that shouldn't be there, I wouldn't think. Let me connect to the actual ground instead of the chassis. Okay, there we go. We're on the ground now. Instead of the chassis, we're on the actual ground. And now I'm on the 12 volts DC. And it does show here on the scope, we do have 12 volts. And I don't see any ripple there at all. I'm going to change the volts per division here, and we'll take it pretty low. Let me put it on DC here. Let's change this to DC. There we go. That way we are at DC level instead of it going, I'm sorry, AC, so that it stays centered on the scope. I am on 500 millivolts AC, and I see absolutely no hum on there at all, no noise. So let's go back to about 5 volts or 2 volts per, well, 5 volts per division should be fine. All right, so we're in good shape there. We shouldn't have any noise. We do have a steady 12 volts, so let's hook our power lines up now and see what the radio does. Turn the power off here. And it does go off. Great. All right. Now,
I wish I had mine.
okay, I'm going to strip these wires so we can connect them. We make sure all the voltage has bled off here. It's bleeding off right now. We can see it's down to nothing, not enough to hurt the radio. We're at 33 millivolts. So we can hook the power up. I'm going to go to the center of each of these so that we've got play on either side here. We'll hook our positive up first. Oops. Went a little too far with that one. All right, here's our, actually, yeah, this is our ground here. All right, we've got our power supply in place of the old power supply, just temporarily sitting in here. We are still chassis grounded. We're gonna see if our radio comes alive. Voila. We have a working radio so far.
So did it work?
It should. Let's hook it to the service monitor and see.
But I don't know anything about this one. I don't know.
Let's go to the ever popular channel 14.2 megahertz. The speaker isn't connected right now, but I'll hook an external speaker up. Actually, let me get the top here and I'll connect its speaker. Just stick the top on temporarily. Connect the speaker. We got plenty of airflow across that power supply. That should have connected our speaker. Let's make sure here. Where's our audio frequency? All right. Let's put this back on temporarily. All right, we're at 14.2. Our backlight's good and all this. Let's set our service monitor to 14.2. Let's go to CW. And let's go to generate. Turn the service monitor down. There's where we should hear it. That's as low as my service monitor will go. There's 0.5 microvolts, 0.3 microvolts of sensitivity, and that's looking good. And we are at 1K off, so we do have the frequency, so it does have a good receiver. Now let me set this to 150 watt scale. I'll go to receive. I'll go to 14.2. Let me hook my channel 1 up so we can get the demodulated signal out of my service monitor. Let me set it up here. The audio set. Okay, that's my tone generating to the service monitor here. Or from the service monitor. So, Let's go to FN if it has it. Pretty quiet. Center squelch, whatever that is, not going squelch. Let's go to 14.2 even on FM. Let me find my microphone. Here is our microphone. We'll check our power. We're on the 150 watt scale. Let me find my RF power. Oh, it does over 150 watts. It's pegged there. So let's back it down to about 5-10 watts there. Check 1, 2, check. You can see our audio up there. Check 1, 2, 3. KR4MT. Check 1, 2. Hang on. Let's see if we're hearing it.
There you go. It went off. Maybe.
Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2, 3. Check. I'm not seeing our audio. We should be seeing audio there. Check, 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 check. Oh, maybe my mic gain's not up. Yeah, my mic gain's turned all the way down. That's fine. Check 1, 2. Check 1, 2, 3. Check 1, 2, 3. We do have good audio. KR4MT. We are on the bench here testing. We have well over 150 watts out, and we have good transmit audio, it looks like, with the mic gain. That's mic gain is very low, and this is FM mode. We shouldn't, don't have to do FM on 20 meters, but it is working. I'm going to button this thing up, do the grounding correctly, and then we'll be back. And it goes on.
That's it? Should I stop?
We'll be back in a minute, okay? All right, I'm going to adjust the power supply to 13.8 volts. Down inside here is the voltage adjustment. If we can reach it here. And we'll take it down to 13.2. That's close enough. There we go. We'll leave it right there. That's got our fan running faster for the higher voltage. We got good power out. We got good receive. I've got the plate out that the power supply mounts to. So I'm going to mount this thing somehow. There's screw holes there, so I can at least mount it there. And if I have to, I'll drill another hole, but I will get this mounted down to this plate. And I will get a screw through it for chassis ground. Turn it off, make sure everything shuts down. Power supply shuts down just fine. Our voltage is bleeding off. Okay, we'll come back to it in just a little bit. I'll put this away. Okay, this is why we keep parts. We forget something that's totally blown up, not working anymore. I like to take it apart and salvage what screws and stuff I can. These screws should be just right to mount this right in here. I don't know how close we're going to line up. There's one. Well, we can get one there anyway. And we'll see what happens here. All right, we've got our power supply mounted to our board. So we can set it down inside here where the power supply board was before. So we should be able to just, well, actually we're going to cut.
Me?
Yeah.
That's okay. It's easier to remove it.
Yeah. Okay, remove this part, okay?
Find the different.
This is going to lay in differently, okay?
It's difficult to find the videos.
This is going to lay in this way, so I need to mount the power supply this direction. Okay. And of course it's not going to fit right there. What about up here? Where's our screw holes? Right there. Okay, so I'm going to have to make screw holes, Mama.
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, we've got the power supply mounted to the original power supply holder. We're good and solid. So we're going to mount this back in place. Which is right here. You see all sorts of room there for everything. Bundle tie everything together here in just a little bit. Let me get some screws in this. There's a green screwdriver. Got to do the two side screws right here that will hold the side part in. Let's see here. This one. And this one. Okay, we are nice and secure inside the radio. We're mounted to that plate now. We need to just dress these wires up just a little bit so that we ain't all over the place with them. Let me find some zip ties here. Zip tie gun. Where are you, zip tie gun? Right here. Alright, we'll get all these gathered up right here. Get our first zip tie on right here. These all here just like they are. And zip tie this one right here. And one in the middle. And that should be good enough. Ain't nothing flopping around or anything. And we're ready to find a grounding point now for this. That screw hole is in use. Yes, it is. All right, pull one of these screws out and put it right there. We shall put him right here. See if I can find a small washer. My desk is a mess. Either that or a bigger screw.
Oh, sorry. I should have dropped that there. Sorry. Oh, sorry.
Let's see what this does now. Just twist it so it stay in place. Twist him a little more.
You got a lot of stuff that I don't understand.
Alright, there we go. We're chassis grounded. Now let's plug it in, give it one last test, make sure it is working. And there we go. We are working.
Yay! Good job, Teddy.
Now to button it back up.
More?
Not yet. We can't. Well, you can keep going if you want. You can edit out the boring stuff. I'll put my tools, all the tools away here. I'll leave one screwdriver out. I want to take a picture of this, by the way.
Yeah, take a picture too. Where? The entire thing?
Yeah, I want to take a picture of the whole thing with the new power supply in it. Okay, I've got it hooked up to an outside antenna going through my LP100 watt meter. We're on 20 meters right now, going through an off-center fed. Let's try an A3S dipole. A3S.
Different enough to give it that particular sound, but as they say, it's people were talking to me and say, "Okay, Mike, what kind of ringer?"
See if we can find somewhere to get a hold of someone calling CQ or something. Let's turn our RF power all the way up. Let's find a clear frequency. I'm just going to see what kind of power out we've got up here. KR4MT, check, 1, 2. 163 watts at maximum power. That's pretty good. So we had 163 watts peak to peak, or peak power rather. So we can find someone to talk to.
Yeah, we don't get spring here. Today was 50. Supporting towers. There's your Alpha 374. Yeah.
So as you see, we're on power out.
Very nice.
Let's see if the tuner works.
KTH. Aluminum towers don't do very well here in South Florida. We can't get a building.
Let's go right here. And let's see if we tune. Let's go to this down here. Looks like it tuned already. Let's go to another band. Let's go to 10 meters. Let's back our squelch back down where we had it before. There we go. Alright, tuner works fine. Tuned it really fast. We got 93 watts out on 10 meters there on ready. See what it does on FM. Still 93 watts. We got 93 watts on 10 meters. Let's check. See if it's got the work bands. It does have the work bands. Let's go back to sideband.
I'm located in the Dominican Republic in the Caribbean, right in the capital city, Santo Domingo. The name is RIG, Radio India Golf. I go by RIG.
Turn to the southeast.
Thanks for VA. WA4YGN, Hotel India 8, Romeo Delta, over.
Dominican Republic should be to the southeast. So I'm rotating the beam to there so it'd be really strong. Well, just wait. You got on box or something. Really strong signal though.
Okay, Paul. Last letter is Delta. D as in Delta. HI8 Romeo Delta. Thanks, Paul. You're doing a fine job with the dipole and very, very nice signal and good audio. So thanks, Paul, 73, and hope to meet you again. Whiskey Alpha 4, Yankee Golf November, HI8 Romeo Delta 73. Hotel India 8 Romeo Delta, Kilo said.
Kilo Romeo 4, Mike Tango.
Kilo Romeo 4, Mike Tango, big signal, 59 plus, over.
Oh, thank you. I just repaired this radio and we're doing a video on, we're going to put on YouTube after a while. This is an old ICOM IC-761 that the power supply was dead on. And we put a brand new power supply in it, a modern power supply. And just want to make sure it's working okay.
Well, okay, very good, excellent. For Mike Tango, well, your ICOM is doing a wonderful job. Sounds really good. 59 plus 5 is your signal report. And I'm located in Santo Domingo in the Dominican Republic. The name is RIG, Radio India Golf. And the call is Hotel India 8 Romeo Delta. So thanks for the contact, 73, and congratulations on the ICOM. Sound great, over.
Okay, yeah, nice to meet you. And the handle here is Tim, Tango India Mike. And we are located in South Central Kentucky. And we appreciate you letting us talk to you. And hope to talk to you later down the log. HI8RD, this is KR4MT Clear.
Okay, very good, Tim. 73 and all the best. This is Hotel India 8, Romeo Delta, QRZ.
73. So by the way, your signal report was 20 over. I'm sorry, KR4MT.
No problem, Tim, Papa. And also, I was looking at my log and I see that we worked on 17 meters last year. So good to meet you and thanks for second batch. 73.
All right, 73s.
Hotel India 8, Romeo Delta.
You just talked to... Now you can finish it now.
So that's
You can
it.
well, actually.
That's
You can
it.
see it's working fine. We got a good signal report from Dominican Republic.
Great job, Daddy.
Talked to the guy.
Well, thanks
So,
from Oklahoma.
awesome.
Okay. Great job. Thank you.
Sounds good.
Thank you, Mr.
Good
Tim.
sound radio.
So
All right.
John.
Awesome.
Okay.
Good luck. I
Bye.
can't
Say hi to YouTube.
Okay, KR4MT 73s.
And I love him so much. You know. We're gonna have a date. Don't forget to dress up. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye.